Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the PAPAJO show where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe. And I want to say thank you all to you amazing, beautiful people for being here today. I really do genuinely appreciate it. So, fun stuff happening for the show here. I had one of my shows from last week apparently hit something on the community guidelines. I don't know what, don't know how, because we didn't do anything in that show. I'm very, very careful with what we discuss in these ones out here. That's why we have a Patreon. Speaking of, if you're new to the show, we have a Patreon. Scrolling on the bottom of the screen and linked in the description of the video. That is so that I can take the gloves off and have the conversations that would typically get channels banned, channels removed, demonetized, whatever. We're not even close to being monetized. We're not anywhere near big enough yet. But when that time comes, it's going to be an absolute pain in the butt to try and go get that fixed. So I don't have a strike or anything like that, but they just randomly removed content. So it's kind of like, what? And then no explanation as to what it is. No email, nothing, just gone. So I'm going to go figure out what that is, figure out how to fix that. So we will address that later. And probably set up a backup channel so you guys and gals and you all go and join that. And because if they're starting at it now, I mean, Facebook too. Apparently I shared something in 2018 that people didn't like and somehow got flagged. And now I can't live stream to Facebook. Go figure. Anyway. I do appreciate you guys and gals being part of the show, being here. Today we're going to take a look at what happens when everything just goes boom. Just the bubbles that the everything bubble just pops, right? We'll take a look at that here in just a few minutes. But first things first, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. It would help me grow the channel out for sure. And then also hit that bell so that way you get every notification whenever I go live. Because I attempt to do a live show every day. So fun times for sure. And I do a Patreon every day as well. That's at 4:30 Eastern. And I usually take the gloves off. I dig into stuff. I go nuts and bolts. I just did a show with Ken Bozak, amazing human being, and had fun with him on that show. That's in the Patreon. Early access stuff. You get to see that stuff live there, and out here whenever when you see the interviews, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time they will be delayed, so that way those in the Patreon get to have that first. So if you want to help the channel out a little more, Crypto Confidential, scrolling on my screen right here. It's also linked in the description of the video. That does definitely help out. There is some significant educational information in that, and having access to be part of a group that is very, very unique and very, very specialized in what we do around cryptocurrency. Anyways, with that, let's jump right into the content. But before we do, stick around to the end of the video. Jump in the live chat. There is a live chat running on YouTube that allows for myself and others to have a conversation with you. And at the end of the show, we'll treat it like a Q&A. So if you have anything you want to throw out, drop it in the chat, and I'll try to address it towards the end of the show. So let's jump into what's going on today, shall we? What is going on here? Let's see. Let's drop this down here. There we go. That way you can go full screen on it for you guys and gals. So Bitcoin is consolidating. It looks like on the daily. Let's see what's on the hour. Not the 1 minute. The hourly. Where is it? Yeah, that was fun this morning when it dropped down, or yesterday when it dropped down, day before yesterday when it dropped. Okay, so this is okay. I see here. Today it looks like we're having a slight attempt to run up. We're staying above 30,000, which is fantastic. But of course, the Dow's up, and so is the Nasdaq, and so is the S&P 500. It makes you kind of wonder what tomorrow is going to happen. What are the news? Are they trying to front run kind of thing, trying to get it back up to a specific level so that way it drops? It doesn't go anywhere, basically. It stays at the approximate levels that they're at. That is yummy. I think they're just trying to make sure the Dow is higher than the Nasdaq. So it's very interesting. They're not the Nasdaq, higher than the Dow. They're trying to get the Dow higher than Bitcoin. I clearly need more of that coffee. Goodness gracious. Sorry. We got gold up. Everything is up today, except it's down from what it was this morning or yesterday, it looks like. Interesting stuff. Divi seems to be ticking up and down and all around, just like it usually does, which is fantastic. But I really want to see Divi, as I'm sure most of you guys do, run really, really, really high. I think realistically, I think Divi is going to be several dollars, run up to $10 because of what they're building. Every coin that has done what they're doing has always run up to that $8 to $10 range. And then if they continue to build, which they are going to do so, it will really, really, really run. So you've got Matic is also, this is all on sale, people. It really, really is all on sale. So please pay attention to these. Absolutely good stuff here. You get residual income with these different assets like Axie Infinity. I think it's 83% return right now. It's a big deal. And it's gone up too from where it was. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to be paying attention to. That is a game. Everyone loves playing games. If they can continue to build, it's going to be fun. So mortgage rates, looks like it has taken a breath. So it has gone down whatever 5, I guess that's percentage, whatever. Not even a whole percent. So one tiny little breath. Let's see what happens. I think it's just going to continue to spike up. I think with home prices not realistically adjusting like they should be, I think you'll see the mortgage rates continue to rise, probably 6, 7, 8%. In the hot spots, like in in my area where we're at, you'll see. Well, we're seeing the price points whatnot come up, or sorry, not come up, but we're starting to see prices drop on all the homes around us, right? But they're still sitting. So the inventory is increasing, prices are dropping. It's some of them is significant, others not so much. So we'll see what happens. Fun times for sure. Let's see. Did Luna actually die yet? I would say that one's gone. 6 cents. I really kind of wonder if that one's gone. So don't. Fun times, right? Check these every day if you're in the regulars. So I go through, I just kind of try to figure out what maybe is going on, what the feel is in the market, what's correlating in my mind. Anyway, so what happens? How does all of this end? The biggest question is, how does it end? I believe it ends when the hunger disease is over and global economy recovers. Those two things won't necessarily happen at the same time. There's a wide range of recovery scenarios, and nobody really knows how long it takes the global economy to recover from the hunger disease. So this is an interesting article. They're trying to correlate things being down because of the hunger disease. Those of you who know, we talk about on the Patreon what it really is. You know, they made all those cookies and forced everyone to try and eat, try to make sure everyone ate those, that kind of stuff. But at some point, economies will recover. Central banks will tighten the money supply and interest rates will rise. Sound familiar? We may see price inflation, consumer goods, and labor too, although that is less clear. When economies recover, the interest rates rise. The air will come out of the asset price bubbles or that have built up the go-go markets will hit the brakes. By the way, drinking black coffee. I don't remember which one that one's from. Definitely very, very good. Very, very tasty. Throw it in the chat. What are you guys enjoying right now? Tea, coffee, adult beverages, stuff like that. Whatever. Kool-Aid. I don't know. Throw it in there. Love to know what's going on. What you guys are enjoying. Let's see here. Well, now the markets have hit the brakes, and the new question is how that ends. I've been using the early 80s as a bit of a mental model. The late 70s saw oil prices rise, stagflation emerge, and while that was not exactly happening with the hunger disease or the things happening over with the military stuff going on, I'm trying to be very careful with the show here, guys. Gals, sorry about this. You gotta love the censorship. Gotta love the censorship. That's why there's a Patreon. Anyhow, there are some similarities to what happened in the 80s to now. In the early 80s, the G7 economies tightened the money supply, raising interest rates dramatically in an effort to bring inflation under control. You can see the effect in this image. And that is really kind of small. Okay, whatever. The early 80s, you know what? I just go ahead through this because it is basically what I wanted to say with this stuff. The early 80s is double dipped recession. 1980 and another for 18 months in 1981 to 1982. The economy was weak for 3 years at the start of the decade. But the later half of the decade was one of the best economies in modern times. So I suspect either we're in a recession right now or headed to one, brought on by tightening money supply, higher rates that are being used to control inflation. As I've mentioned in the show many, many times, raising the rates is like their sponge. It absorbs the money supply. Well, historically speaking, as I've mentioned many, many times here, they've never printed this much money in the history of this nation. Ever. Okay. They have printed more than 80% of the current US dollar supply in the last 2-ish years, a little more than 2 years. That's not a joke. I'm not kidding. Go look it up. The monetary supply for US dollars has risen 80% from the start of the Hunger Disease all the way up through now, recently. They're still technically printing it. So, what happens when they can't get ahead of this? They can't get ahead of this. Realistically speaking, they've never had this much money to absorb. The amount of money supply, the inflation that they have created is beyond controllable. And I've said it before, and I've covered this on the Patreon, where my theory as to why the former or slash current, not current, Flashbang is not current. He's a resident. The former slash current, because of divergence, we'll call it that, administration wanted to kill the banking system. How would you do that? Print as much money as you possibly can. It's just a thought, just a theory. Check out that Patreon video. I cannot show that one out here. So I suspect so we are probably in a recession. Realistically speaking, I really, really think we are. Okay. Wage increases has not kept up with the amount of GDP and wage increases has not kept up with inflation. It can't. Not that much inflation. Not that much. So, interesting. Everything is collapsing at once. It really is. So equity and bond markets are crushing, while inflation destroys the value of cash. This is why that one sentence alone is why I have been saying on the show, and I'm not going to stop saying this. For those of you who are new, this is why I say this on the show. Everyone will be running into cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. They will be going and taking out of the stock market, and they'll be buying all of these things. You know why? Because the value of cash is worthless. Inflation is a hidden tax. It removes the purchasing power out of the money. I don't care what your school says. Schooling that we've learned said that this is a good thing. No, it's not. It literally steals your ability to buy. Literally. It is not okay. So we have all of these different things happening right now, and people are going, what are we going to do if we can't go into cash and sit on the sideline while the whole mess goes down? What are they going to do? They're going to run to cryptocurrency. Mark my words. It is an exit strategy. It is the exit strategy. Okay, if you can obtain physical gold and silver and hold it, and I'm not talking about doing these stupid comics purchases here. I'm talking about really buying and holding gold and silver, physically holding it. So, what happens when this all really hits home, which is starting to? It really is starting to right now. People will rush out of the market and they will get rid of their cash as fast as possible. They will buy food, they will buy ammo, they will buy gold, silver, maybe even property. But for the most part, people are going to dump out of the market and they're going to dump into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency overall. The overall market is going to run hard, and this is why. I'm not often glad. Never mind. I'm not going to read all that stuff here. Let's see. It turns out equity growth stocks do not always outperform that the Federal Reserve, American Central Bank, will not always step in to protect your wealth. That ESG investing is not an automatic road to win-win riches, and that the price of the growth stocks in your portfolio have long been more a function of loose monetary policy than the priceless narrative of innovative thinking. That one paragraph really points out, in my opinion, that everyone has basically set themselves on autopilot with their 401ks, their IRAs, and all these other things. And what people don't realize is they've been propping up the stock market with those assets. Y'all can't see this stupid thing, can you? Sorry about that. Finally, it turns out that the idea of sticking with a long-term portfolio consisting of 60% equities and 40% bonds does not mean everything will always be fine. This year, so far, you would have lost much of the same money in the iShares 20 plus Treasury bond ETF as in this S&P 500 stock market index, but 18% in both. You would have lost 18%. Yeah, that's not a joke. Let's see here. Shorter dated bonds would have lost you less, but look down a list of bond funds in the UK and you will be hard pressed to find one down less than 7%. Global funds don't look too good either. The Vanguard Global Corporate Bond Index, Vanguard, is down over 12%. Money is leaving. The money's leaving. Bitcoin hasn't really dropped a whole lot comparatively. It's a very, very small market compared to these bond markets. What's Bitcoin's market cap? I don't know right now. I haven't looked in a while. Go over to Coin Market Cap. Bitcoin's market cap is $570 billion. That is tiny. The bond market, last I really looked at it, if you include all the derivatives and everything else, it's like in the quadrillions. I'm not talking trillions, quadrillions. It's massive. Okay. This is a total market cap of 1.3 trillion for the whole market of all crypto. That's crazy, guys and gals. If you realistically think about everything going out of the stock market and coming into crypto, I realistically think it's going to happen. Equity and bonds are collapsing in tandem. So this is the other thing that's very, very frustrating for a lot of people. If you've got money in equities, it's not a good place to be. If your 401k is set up with equities and bonds, your 401k is set up with mutual funds, whatever, they're not going to last this collapse. They won't. The problem, and this is the other thing that people have the problem. This is what's really, really bad about 401ks. And I'm going to harp on this for just a second. This was really, really bad at 401ks, IRAs, etc. Once you set yourself up, you put the money in there, and you're not allowed to take out money out until you're a certain age. And then you're forced to take it out, which means you're forced to, it just means you're forced to actually have a taxable event. It's tax deferment until you withdraw. And then if you withdraw early, you get hit again with a tax. It is a nasty tax. They call it a fee, but it's a tax. Okay. So your money's stuck in the stock market, and as it tanks, you can't take it out or you'll lose more of your money. Isn't that great? They lock all these people in to this. They have automatic drafts on their paychecks, and every time they get paid, they get money in their 401k, and it continues to. It's going to be for retirement. Nope, that is to prop the stock market up. And whenever these big old huge corporations want to get out, take profits, or just collapse the entire economy, you're left holding the bag. You're screwed because you can't get your money out. You just pay obscene fees to do so and lose more money. It's disgusting. I got rid of my 401k a long time ago, and I will never do another one again. The company I work for offers them, and they do matching. Everyone's like, "You're leaving free money on the table." I'm like, no, I'm not. That is their way of getting a tax benefit from doing that. They get tax incentives, reduced tax payments by matching what you put in. It's a game. And bonds are collapsing. Doing this in tandem. 401ks are going bye-bye. IRAs are going bye-bye. The problem here is that the protection you're supposed to get with from bonds involves their yields falling, and hence prices rising in the bad times. That makes sense. Mostly when things look tricky in equity markets, there is a reason, or central banks are at least manage to find one to cut interest rates or sort things out. The only time this can't happen is when inflation is already obviously out of control, and no amount of fretting about market crashes, looming recessions can allow central banks to even begin to look like they aren't fully focused on having a go, however fruitless it may be, at bringing it back under control. They cannot fix this mess. It's done. So this, I thought, was an interesting little bit of an article here. It looks like the dot-com crash again. Is the economy heading for an early 2000s style recession? Those of you who are alive during that time, you remember what happened during that time, all the Y2K crap, all the computers. What was it? Who was it? It was I don't remember who the Fed chair at that time was. Anyway, so they don't mention anything about Bitcoin or crypto and currency or anything in here, but I can tell you right now, with the advancements of blockchain technology, it's like the second coming of the internet, or the next layer of technological advancements for, or part of, or with the internet. So yeah, are we going to have that? The dot-com crash haunts memories of many more seasoned investors in the Wall Street, and this year's stock market rout is conjoining up with serious deja vu. It's going to be horrendous when this happens. Yeah, Greenspan, Alan Greenspan, that's right. The guy who, Bix's theory, I don't think he may not be far off. Anyhow, the S&P 500 down 19% since the start of the year, and the tech-heavy NASDAQ feared even worse, plummeting over 28%. For the regular stock market, that is major money coming out of that, because the market capitalization is huge. Bitcoin going down 20-30%, that's not a lot of money. But these guys going down that much is a bunch of money. And it makes me kind of wonder when we're going to start seeing that inflow into crypto, because people are starting to realize Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are a hedge against the inflation. They're a hedge against the devaluation of the monetary supply from inflation. All right. So, but we could be just halfway through the stock market decline based on historical trends. Between March 2000 and October 2002, the NASDAQ 100 sank 78%. As once loved but largely unprofitable tech firms fell by the wayside. It's very, very crazy what's going on here. There's a lot of technical companies in this system, but they're not talking about cryptocurrency yet. I really, really wonder when the blockchain platforms start to realistically launch what's going to take place with this stuff, because it's so decentralized. Some of it's centralized, some of it is, but when it gets decentralized, it's very, very interesting. So, look at this. The Fear Greed Index overshoots and undershoots. 'Twas ever thus. I don't really know what this little whatever. I can't get it to pull up. Stupid thing. Well, Bitcoin's listed in there. I don't know I don't know how to read that chart. Anyhow, we're coming into a nasty time, people. I hope you're ready, because this is not going to be fun. Not going to be fun at all. What if the Fed can't tame inflation? What happens if they can't tame this? And you and I, all of us know in their show here, they won't be able to, because they've printed too much money. They've never printed this much money all at once in the history of the Federal Reserve. They won't be able to absorb it, even if they raised rates like 50%. Like not basis points, percent. They still would have a very hard time curbing this. They really would, in my humble opinion, of course. Not that I'm an economist or anything like that. This is all for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please do not take any of this as financial, legal, or tax advice. Everybody is talking about inflation, stagflation, capitulation. I can never say that word while I'm reading it. Globalization, stagnation, this Asian, that Asian. All we are saying is, please make it end. Americans view inflation, which is near 40-year highs, as the top problem facing the country today by very wide margin. No other concern comes close. It really doesn't. Members of the Federal Reserve, the central bank, tasked with deflating inflation from 8.3% to its goal of around 2%, are now raising interest rates in an attempt to cool the economy, which is going to make people lose jobs, which is going to make people not spend money, which is going to make money disappear and hard to obtain. Did y'all know that the markets basically went into bear territory back on Friday? Yeah. We're in a recession, folks. I hope y'all are ready for it. It's not going to get good. It's not going to be good at all. It's not going to be good at all. So what now, right? What happens? How does it all end? How does it end? It's going to get nasty. We've been through this before, except this time I think it's going to be worse. I really do, I keep saying it, that people are going to run out of the stock market. They're going to run out of all of the bonds and everything else, and they're going to run into cryptocurrencies. And it's going to become the net new stock market, because businesses are building technical platforms on blockchains. They're building businesses on blockchains. They are actually solving real-world problems with blockchain technology. A real-world problem that was solved, the very first real-world problem that was solved, was the monetary system, and that's with Bitcoin. And I would say Litecoin as well. Bitcoin being a store of value / a means of exchange or debt settlement between nations, and Litecoin would be your fungibility. Okay, that's just my opinion. I think we could easily do that. Now, it's funny. It's very funny. Just for full disclosure here, like, I don't hold any Litecoin, but I use it. Okay, like, I don't have that as an investment, if you will. Okay, I'm telling on my show, I tell you what's good, what I see is good, stuff that I have held, will hold. I can go mine more of it, whatever. I can go make my own Litecoin if I need it, or get into it, or move into other stuff. It's not hard. I would prefer not to spend Bitcoin, but I would spend Litecoin, kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? The rest of the world will end up doing that. There are big major corporations that are starting to go, wow, we're going to be outpaced by these blockchain platforms, because they're going to do all the tech companies today. If they don't shift into using blockchain technology and automating the things that they now do on a manual basis, or not so much manual, they're going to go by the wayside. And the net new tech companies will be blockchain companies. They will come in and eat the lunch all day long of the current tech companies. They will. Because if you can decentralize and automate any of the tech companies and what they're doing, it makes everything significantly better for humanity. And it does, because it removes their control. the centralized control. All right, so let's run through the chat here and say what's up, because I am getting close to the end of my time here with the show. So I want to say hey to everybody, and then if you have any questions, comments, whatever, throw them in the chat. We'll address them as they come through. What's going on, Tom? Good morning. It's good to see you. Appreciate you being here. It's afternoon here now. Lithia, what's up? It's raining here. Yes, it is. It is raining here too. It's raining almost like on half the country right now, which is good. We've needed it. We really have needed it. All right, we got Steven. What's up? It's good to see you. Glad you are here. Good to see you, man. Let's see. Johnny Mattis, Desert Greetings. What's up, brother? It's good to see you. What's up, Bozak? What's going on, bro? I appreciate you being here. As always, it was fantastic. By the way, we had an interview. We had a, I don't want to say an interview. We had a conversation. Bros, right? We had a conversation. It was fantastic. It's on the Patreon. Go check it out. If you're not part of the Patreon, consider joining. It's just $5. That's it. So anyway, it does help the channel, support the channel, whatnot, all that fun stuff. So yeah, jump in for sure. Divvy Daddy, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. Oh man, I need to get with you later. I forgot I was supposed to talk to you this weekend. What's going on, Trinity Man? How are you? Good morning. We've got Kim. How are you? What's going on? Appreciate you being here. I think I hit everyone here. Let's go through here. David Daddy, everyone stocked up on food? If not, budget for some extra supplies. Yeah, there's some mess coming. David Daddy, there's a mess coming. There's a mess coming. It's not going to be pretty soon. It really, really won't be. Good interview from Nick on Twitter yesterday. I have it queued up. I haven't had time to watch it yet. I've seen snippets of it, though. Always a good conversation to hear Nick give information out for stuff. We've got Daddy-O. Just made it. What's up, brother? You made it pretty good timing. Appreciate you jumping in, man. Let's see here. Divvy Daddy. Low shipping contracts say there are much less items being imported to sell at stores. Yeah. Remember what Cliff High was talking about at the beginning of 2020? When everything started going crazy and all of his just like here's what's coming kind of thing. He thought it was going to happen 2020, 2021. I kind of think it's happening now. Like we are starting to run out of stuff. It's going to get nasty. Going to get very, 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 very crazy. Yeah, 7 to 9 weeks, we will start seeing people, we will see people are seeing inflation kill. It's going to be nasty. All right, who else we got here? Good morning, Bitcoin Bull. What's up? Appreciate you jumping in. They are saving for necessities. Diesel at $10. Yeah, and I have a diesel. It's going to be nasty, dude. It's going to be great. We'll get through it, though. I'm sure the gas stations will give a discount for people who pay with crypto. Walk inside. Hey, you accept cryptocurrency? I want to pay $3 a gallon for diesel if I give you crypto. And see what they say. Or $1 a gallon for diesel. See what they say. Oh, it's going to be crazy, 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 crazy. Let's see who else we got here today. We got Busy Mountain. What's up? How you doing? Appreciate you jumping in. All right, cool. What do we got here? Man, David Daddy, you're jumping in all over. Okay, we got peanut butter shortage now? Yeah. It's going to be very crazy here. Very, very crazy here. It's a controlled demolition, right, Daddy-O? That's what it sure feels like. They're trying to drop the buildings and just collapse it right where they want it kind of thing. We'll see what happens. Oh, the joy. Yeah, let's see here. Those of you who don't know what DVD is talking about here, Sri Lanka ran out of gas. And now they have starving, hungry people. This is something I've said on the show, on the Patreon. I'll say it here. Maybe this video will get taken down too. I don't know. Hopefully not. But you will see, not riots, but you will see a revolution because people are hungry. Mark my words. Sri Lanka is exactly, they're begging for food. This is exactly what's going on. It's exactly what's going on. Okay, that's going to continue to happen. Who else we got in the chat here today? We've got what's going on. Open-minded Bitcoin. By the way, you guys and gals need to go check out his shows. Really good content, fun stuff, and they're having fun living the crypto life. Check it out. Who else we got in here today? Let's see. Sam Storm, what's up? Yep, 401ks are just a trap. Yep. I realized that earlier on. Got out of it. Not fun stuff at all. Let's see. 401k, Busy Mountain. 401k government construct. Makes no sense to me, just more control. Very much so. Let's see here. Yeah, right. Bitcoin Bull, pay a tax on your gain now or lose 80% more by keeping it. It's very, very, very tough choice. Not a tough choice at all. Yeah. That's kind of why, like, with the 401k, I was like, okay, I'll pay this now. And when I realized, I was like, I'm not going to have purchasing power at the end of this. I love that coffee. All right, cool. Let's see. Man, you guys are having an amazing conversation here today. Like I said, at the end of the show, just try to run through the chat, say hey to everyone, whatnot, all that kind of fun stuff. Tom, I don't think we'll see $10 diesel. Well, where you're located, probably not. But anywhere it's got a ship. So it's interesting. Diesel gets shipped via rail or truck. There's not a pipeline for diesel. Not that I know of. It's kind of an interesting concept. Like if the trucks can't pull it, I mean, or if the rail cars aren't pulling it, I mean, go look at, you know what? Maybe we'll look at that at the end of for the Patreon. We'll take a look into what happened with Pilot this past week. Busy Man, I am thinking of offering crypto for trade on my local want ads, just to see what kind of deals people want to make. Interesting. That'd be kind of cool to see. Tom, you might be right. I would not take, I guess, much of a turn that BS around whatever if we are used to American oil. Yeah. Let's see here. I offered discounts for payments in crypto. People would call wanting a discount, but didn't have a damn clue what crypto was. Yeah, if you pay in crypto, it's a discount. Well, it's probably not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. All right, cool. So we're going to jump out of everything here. You guys, I should have a Patreon this afternoon at 4:30. Let me know if you need anything at all, and y'all be blessed. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.